Hello and welcome to the trash, and today we got a lot to talk about, so let's dive right on into it. So we start off the episode, and Dirty Hands, Savage Crew, they roll in, and I'm looking at Dirty Hands, and I'm thinking, is Tara still there? She wasn't. She had not been cleared by medical to continue competing, which that's a little unfair for her. I mean, she was out there and she tried her best, but unfortunately she just wasn't able to do it with her hand injury, so she had to leave the game and is no longer part of even the team portion. So then we get a complete shocker of a revelation, and Phil says something along the lines of, well, as you may notice, something's missing from Savage Crew too. And I'm like, wait, hold up, what? Because I've been looking at Dirty Hands to see if Tara's still around. I wasn't even paying attention to Savage Crew. Eyebrows has left the competition. Now, they don't disclose why he has left the competition, but there are a few theories out there that I might as well address in this video. The first theory is that he got disqualified for pushing Freight Train into the water. That's a dumb theory. I don't think that's the reason. And if it is the reason, that's a dumb reason. Because number one, it was an accident. He didn't mean to push Freight Train in the water. Number two, if they think that's bad sportsmanship, and if they think that deserves to be disqualified, they should see what's going on in the challenge right now. Sure. It's okay when Josh intentionally pushes Devin, but when Mikey Eyebrows accidentally knocks Freight Train into the water, that's just too much. Now, another theory as to why Eyebrows may have left the competition is that he had a back injury from the slime eel incident where he slipped and fell on his back. Which I think if that were the reason, they probably would have disclosed in the show that Eyebrows also has hurt his back, so he can't continue in the show. I think they would have given us at least that explanation. The one I think is the most likely as to why Mikey Eyebrows had to leave the competition. I think it was something involving probably his family. He's always shown to be a very family oriented guy. He's a family man. You know, he cares about his family a lot. Respectable. And I think that probably something happened to where he needed to go home. Otherwise, I don't think he would have. Because he's a family man, but he's also a very competitive man. And I don't see him leaving unless it was for a big family emergency, or if he had a really bad feeling, times are tough. That's sort of what could be where he's coming from, and they didn't like show it or specify it, probably due to personal reasons, or maybe he was in the hotel where they stay at, and he's like, "Look, I can't even go any farther. I gotta go home right now." For him to really just go out in that way. Obviously, if he had a family emergency where he needed to go home, that is totally understandable. But it's also really understandable if he just wasn't comfortable with leaving his family behind during a pandemic. Similar to Leo Rush from the challenge, similar to all the way back to Jenna Maraska and Survivor All Stars, I think that's probably the most respectable way to quit a show is if you just have a bad feeling and you need to get home, and that's fine. That's respectable. Eyebrows, he was entertaining, and I'm sad we see him go so early, especially this way. Like we didn't even get a proper send off for him. Really, the only thing we got is Phil saying Eyebrows is no longer in the competition and he's gone. But all we can do is we can hope for him to maybe down the line in a future season, maybe an all-star season, he can come back and really prove himself to be a worthy competitor. Because I thought he was going to go very far in the Tough as Nails competition, and he had to go. All right, time to move on to the team challenge. That there are only 5 people on each team now, which seems like way too few. While I was watching this team challenge, something seemed like it was missing. There was like a missing piece, and there was. Tara and Mikey really needed to have been there. And I'm just sad that they weren't there. So we get to the first challenge where it is Scott's area of expertise. Last time it was Tara's area of expertise. This time it's Scott's area of expertise. And this time it went well for Scott because Scott kind of led his team to victory. Now, Liz and Angel, they're really holding Dirty Hands together as a team. Liz and Angel are really doing good with Dirty Hands. And I'm thinking Liz and Angel might be the reason that they won that challenge in the last episode. Pretty much the only reason that they won the last episode's challenge is because they had Liz and Angel two beastly competitors. But Savage Crew was able to pull out the win. This challenge, honestly, it was kind of getting back into the boring territory with the laying down the road, and I just felt like I'm gonna say this again. I just felt like something was missing, and I know exactly what that something was, because something was missing. So anyway, after the Savage Crew wins, I guess they get more money for themselves now that Eyebrows is gone, but Eyebrows really should have been there. As they're driving away, you get the sessions of bonding as they're driving. I don't know, it just felt kind of weird to have that without Eyebrows, because Eyebrows was usually the one leading the conversation. He always had something to say. He was always giving really good encouragement to people, and we didn't have that episode. So the conversation between Savage Crew, it just didn't feel as impactful without Eyebrows there. Obviously, the Dirty Hands conversation, I mean, it's a bit less of an issue because Tara was usually never a driving force in Dirty Hands' team building conversations, whereas Eyebrows was. But Tara really did play a role, and everyone played a role. It's just this episode really disappointed me with the whole thing. Something was missing. Anyway, rant aside, let's talk about the individual competition. Now, this was an excavator race. Obviously, Scott won this. I'm not even going to pretend like there was any competition. Freight Train was close, though. And that's mainly because Freight Train has a lot of experience driving. Like, driving is Freight Train's expertise. So if you mix that with Scott's expertise, you get a good competition here. So yeah, Freight Train and Scott completely dominated this. Swifty wasn't too far behind either. But the bottom two for this episode, the two that would have gone into overtime, Liz and Angel. The old glue of Dirty Hands would have gone. That would have been a very interesting one to see. I obviously think Angel would have lost. If you know my opinions on these two, I think Angel would have lost that. But it would have still been interesting to see it play out. I mean, Angel was a beast. Liz is a beast. I think Angel would have lost, but that's just my opinion. And we didn't get to see this overtime play out because of Mikey. Mikey quit. So technically, he's punched out and they get to live. The Angel and Liz both get to live to see another day. All right, so we're gonna get to my updated rankings here. All right, so updated ranking time. Obviously at number 12, I still have Tara, and now at number 11, I have Mikey. What are you gonna do? Which is a bummer. I really liked Mikey. I was hoping he was gonna go far, but now he's in at number 11. Would have never dreamed of putting him this low. All right, now here's where the list starts to get interesting. At number 10, I have Angel. Angel, the king of being in 10th place. I've always dropped him down slightly, and now he's in last place of all the people still left in the competition. Angel, he's good at the team. I've said this a million times. He's good at the team stuff. The individual stuff is where it gets wonky. I think Angel really just doesn't have a leg to stand on when it comes to the individual competition. That's just my opinion. I put Angel here at number 10. I actually put him below Sarah Burkett. Which brings me to Sarah Burkett. Sarah in at number 9. Once again, I mean, she's been getting a jump in the edit. She's been getting some positive content. She's just really still kind of in the middle of the pack competition-wise. But I can see her pulling through. I just don't see her winning. Number 8, I have Arida. I moved Arida up. Arida is kind of the same opinion I had on her last episode, so that's basically that. Celly Garcia in at number 7. Honestly, in my last episode review, I should have put her up to number 6 above Swifty. But now after seeing this episode and how bad she was at the driving portion of the individual challenge and just how bad she was at adapting, I know I'm going to use that word again, because don't get me wrong, Celly seems adaptable, but when it comes to certain situations, her adaptability kind of just goes out the window. But who knows? Who knows? I think she's still got a very good shot. She's still got a better shot than Sarah, Arida, or Angel, so hopefully she can pull it through. All right, here at number 6, we have Swifty Sanders. Now, number 6 seemed to be the cursed position, because in my first ranking, I had Tara at number 6, and then I moved Eyebrows to number 6. They're both gone now. Hopefully Swifty can break the 6th place curse. That's something I'd really like to see happen. Anyway, yeah, Swifty still has his foot injury, but he pulled through this episode. Like, he really showed that excavator who's boss. Like, he wasn't messing around. Obviously, at number 5, Meryl stuck at number 5. She did get a lot of content, a lot of positive content this episode. And yeah, number 5 still. She's in my top 5. Now, my top 4. My interchangeable picks, as I call them. I had to move Zeus down, and you'll see the other order of people later, but Zeus, I had to move him down. Not that I don't think he's going to win. I still think he's a strong contender to win. It's just I am not very sure if he can beat these other 3 people, because they've been getting a lot more attention, and they've been shown to be a lot more, what's the word? Zeus isn't really coming at it with a lot of energy. Scott's has energy, Freight Train has energy, Knuckles has energy. Zeus kind of still has to get out of the rut that he's in with the edit because they're not really showing him much, and I don't know if he can win, but he's still in my top 4. I mean, I still think he's got a very, very good shot. I still have Freight Train at number 3. I moved him. I still have him in the same spot I had him last time. I considered moving him up above Liz, but, I mean, let's just talk about Liz now. Yes, Freight Train was able to dominate that excavator challenge, but Liz, I think she's still being shown as someone who's kind of the main character. Like, I called Zeus the Danny of the season, and I called Liz the Linda of the season. Liz is turning out to be the Danny of the season. I don't know, because she's had her ups, she's had her downs, and she's just trying to pull it together, and I think that's a great story that would lead to a win. We'll just have to see where she goes. I mean, great option for a winner. But obviously, I couldn't go one more episode without putting Scott at number 1. This guy has won 2 individual challenges in a row. That is insane. Scott obviously has a lot of support coming from me. I don't know, Scott, I put him at number 4 for the longest time, and now he's in here at number 1. Can he keep the number 1 spot though? Is what I'm thinking of, and I'm thinking he can. I'm thinking he can bring through the win for Tough as Nails Season 2. Right now, I'm pegging it on Scott Henry to win the whole thing. So there you have it. That's my sort of thoughts on episode 3. I know I didn't really go in depth on it much. It was more just a quickie review. I'll see you in the next episode next week. Goodbye.